Okay, guys, again, welcome to the team call. Like I said, super excited for tonight, super excited for what our VIP guests have to share with us. And I am grateful for each and every one of you that are a part of our teams. And here showing up is huge for just the success of your business. So, we're going to be talking about a lot of things tonight. Like I had said just before the call started, many of us leaders feel like a huge shift is happening in the company with our teams, and God is moving. So we're super excited for what He has for us in the coming months and throughout the rest of the year. I really truly feel like we are in a place that is such a blessing in the fact that we have such a strong foundation and a company that seeks to glorify God and leadership that seeks to glorify God and to truly pour into us and truly cares about us, not only us in this business, but just personally. Like they care about us as people and our families and what's going on in our life. And they are not only amazing leaders, but they're truly using this opportunity in corporate to be, ministry leaders to so many of us. And I'm just so thankful for what our company stands for. So tonight we're going to have our um, Senior VP of Field Development and our Senior VP of Leadership Development on, Stacey and Joey Alcala. They are married and just an incredible couple. And so if you are new to It Works and you don't know who these individuals are, you will not forget their names or faces after tonight. So like I said, they were doing a call here, and so they were running just a couple minutes late, but they are going to be hopping on here any minute. And so if you guys have any questions specifically, you might not have them after Joey and Stacey get on, but if you have some questions that you have been specifically wanting to ask corporate leadership in the company, now's your time to kind of put some in the chat. If we have time to get to them, we definitely will. Plus, they're going to be going over so many helpful tips and things for us throughout the call also. But yeah, if we just have a minute to go ahead and write some questions or something that you want to share specifically with Joey and Stacey, now is the time to do that. Looks like Zoom's doing a bunch of new stuff. They want me to push a bunch of different buttons here. Okay. I see a few more people hopping on. And let me just check and see if our guests are on here real quick. There they are. Awesome. Hey, guys.
We're so excited to be on with you.
Thank you,
Well, we
guys.
are we're so excited to have you. It was a little delayed there. Yeah, we're so excited to have you. We know you guys are so busy, and just we appreciate you, your leadership, your authenticity, your genuine love for the Lord, and just all that you have and continue to do for each one of us in this amazing company and just really family that we have here at It Works. So I'm going to formally introduce you now that you're on. So we are going to introduce our Senior VP of Field Development, Stacey Alcala, and VP of Leadership Development, Joey Alcala. They are a married couple. They are just some of the sweetest, most genuine people I have ever met. And like I said, they seek to glorify God. And I feel like wherever the Lord is, we're going to prosper as we give glory to Him and when we're growing our businesses. So I'm super excited to hear from you guys tonight. Obviously, we might have some new people on here. So I just thought, let's start off by just giving us a quick little blurb of your history with our company so that people understand where you started and then where you are now and the impact you've had along the way and today.
Man, what a crazy ride. We are so honored to be on here with each of you tonight. See so many faces of some of our favorite people in the company. We're just so thankful for you. So thanks for having us. But we'll jump into our story real quick.
Yeah, we're honored, and say my story so long, so I am going to break this down so fast. So if you didn't know this, for 3 weeks, Sherry Lynn asked me to join her in this business. I said no every way I could. She asked me every day in some way. If you know her, you could get it. She just is like a little relentless, but like also a sweet relentless, like, oh, you don't think so? Okay. And then the next day, are you sure? You should really just do this with me. Finally got into Joey, and Joey was like, babe, if you never You'll never know if you never try. So maybe that's where you're sitting today too, right now. You may not know, but you're not going to know if you don't really try and go all in. So I clicked yes. Funny story, I had to click join 7 times before it actually went through. On the 6th time I prayed, I was like, Lord, if this isn't of you, I can just tell Sherry, you don't want me to do this. And it was like, congratulations. I'm like, okay, I'm scared. I joined very scared. I was working full time as a receptionist at my girls' school. Joey's in full time ministry as a vocation. Our girls were 6 and 8 years old. I went diamond in 3 months of joining the business, and I was matching my income as a diamond as I was as a receptionist, where I wasn't able to use my phone or anything like that. So that was a fun while I worked. So that was fun. Get started. I did a lot of things scared. Went to conference. And on my way to conference, just kept believing this is the perfect place for Sherry Lynn. I don't know that this is the place for me. Conference changed so much for me that I started to go, wait, maybe me too. And so maybe tonight you're in a place where you're going to go, maybe me too. Maybe this is for me too. Maybe there's more for me here. It took me a year to go triple. I had to learn my leadership. I had to walk in new ways. So I went double, and I was like, okay, I don't really know who I am and how I am as a leader in a business. I never saw myself doing anything like this. And so I had a little bit of an identity crisis. Went triple 4 months later, went presidential. That's a whole story in itself. The month of June, whatever year that was, 2015. June 2015, June 30th, I went presidential diamond, no bonus attached, nothing. I just knew I needed that so bad. And that month was crazy, but we overcame a lot. Built to ambassador diamond. And if you know anything from way back in the day, there used to be 5 legs to go ambassador diamond. And so 3 different times we built, and as we were building one kind of crumbled, and as we were building another one, another crumbled, and it was just like, oh, this is fun. But I can tell you who I went double diamond with is not who I went triple diamond with. Who I went presidential diamond with was a lot more who I went triple with, but who I went with a whole different crew. And the Lord brings the right people in the right time in the right seasons. And you have to learn to lead strongly, open-handedly. And sometimes that's really hard to figure out. But that's a little bit of our story in the business. I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did really good. And I would say this, it wasn't our success that shaped us. It was our decision not to stop. And so success never shapes you. You like, well, when I hit this rank, no, it's the ability to say, I'm not going to quit. We said, we're going to go in, we're going to do it for a year. We're not going to hold back. Leadership starts long before people are watching you. And it looks like serving small and staying faithful. If you want to grow, if you want to develop, I want to be faithful. I'm going to serve when no one's watching. And when you have that mentality, then it takes the pressure off. I got to get somewhere. No. You just got to be faithful. You got to serve, and you got to not quit. And if you do those things long enough, you're going to be successful. And I think that plays really into a lot of our story as well.
I'll never forget one time watching, getting on a Zoom with other presidential diamonds and, being in a place that maybe felt frustrating. I know there's new people on, but I'm just going to tell you there's frustrations when you're going for a 4-1. There's frustrations when you're going for ambassador. And you get to grow in your experience as it, those, like you said, those trials, those roughings, right? That's how pearls and diamonds are made. And that's how you become who you're supposed to become. But I'll never forget hearing a worship leader. They shared a worship leader talking about a story like, yes, God, I can't wait for the next mountaintop, right? Because diamond feels like a mountaintop, and double diamond, and da-da-da. And I see that next, and I'm ready to go, and to that next mountaintop that you're calling me to. And he's on one mountaintop, and he looks out, he's like, okay, so like, where's the cool bridge that just like forms like Star Wars for me to go to the next one? And he felt the Lord say, I don't build bridges to the next mountaintop. You get to the next mountaintop through the valleys. And that hit, because to get to the next mountaintop, you become who you're supposed to become by climbing that mountain. And you just might be in a place where you're like, okay, it's a valley, but it is growing me to hold on to the next mountaintop. And that is one thing that I had to use all throughout my business.
Yep. So stay thankful. Man, because gratitude will keep your heart strong. So no matter you're on the mountaintop, you're in the valley, stay thankful, because gratitude keeps your heart strong. And I think that's really important on this journey.
And I'm going to tell you this, mountaintops are kind of rocky. Valleys have lots of grass. So just remember, right? The life stuff kind of comes in those valleys too. So that's how you grow.
I love that so much, you guys. And just truly, that's the way it looks. Growing a business it's never just up we go, the success ladder. No, it's more like a roller coaster of ups and downs and obstacles and just different adventure. And something that stuck out to me when you say that is even when I've gone through obstacles in my business, I feel like I have to reflect on all that the Lord has done through this opportunity in my family's life, even when we've gone through the valleys or going through obstacles. I need to be grateful and not take for granted all that the Lord has used this company for in our lives, both monetarily, relationship wise, and in his my personal relationship with him. So that's so good. Um, and I have a few others. Let me go here. So since you guys grew in the field and you maybe I don't know if you get asked about that as much or whatnot when you're talking with different leaders or different teams, being that you're on the corporate side now. But if you guys don't mind like sharing some of your favorite tips for growing a business, like summertime, time management, like kids are out of school, you're running with different things, different activities, some are working full time while doing this. And so just consistency, like how did that look as a family raising two daughters, and trying to build a business and building a successful one at that? Yeah. So
Mhm.
go ahead and share a little bit about that with us.
I think there were seasons we did it great and there were seasons where we didn't. And I mean, just the truth of the matter is like there's seasons where you just life hits you and you are crazy. Um, so you have to understand your schedule will shift, but the mission can't. And so we never got mad at things happening. Guess what, guys? Life's going to happen. You're going to get knocked on your butt. Something's going to happen where you're like, "Oh man, I didn't see that coming." And we're always surprised, but that's life, right? And so understanding that our schedules will have to shift. Maybe it means that we have to wake up earlier or stay up later or work in the car or and our youngest told us this a long time ago, and I hope this frees you up. She goes, Dad, Mom, she was like 9 or 10 at the time. She goes, I wish you'd really just either work or hang out with us. Because when you try to do both, I don't feel like you're doing either of them well. And I'm like, go to your room, you're grounded. But no, it was just something in the summer, especially is like, man, don't feel guilty to say, hey, we're going to work for an hour and then we're going to hang out. Because guess what? Your kids don't need you 24 hours. Y'all know that. They act like they do. But if you were like, hey, we're going to hang out all day, they'd be like, no, I don't want to hang out all day. I want to hang out for when I want to hang out. And so setting those parameters, keep your schedule changing, keep the mission on point. And then I would say just understand, be where your feet are planted. Stacey says that all the time. When it's work time, be ultra focused. When it's family time, be crazy family fun time. Don't try to mix them because you kind of stink at both of them when you try to do both. Because multitasking is a myth. You can say, hey, I can do both. No, you can't. Be with the family or work your business. It's gonna flourish. And don't be afraid to mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's Joey took my line because it is be where your feet are. So thanks, babe, for taking that one. But I'll never forget a lady saying that and going, "Hey, just be where your feet are," because it's very easy for women to be somewhere and be somewhere else, and then we feel empty.
Mm.
And that's when you can burn out. That's when you're frustrated all the time. And so be where your feet are. My other statement is John Maxwell, blessed are the flexible, for they shall never get bent out of shape. You are constantly going to have to shift because your kids are growing and your business is growing, right? So I'm still mom to Issa and Allie, but how I led them, how I'm their mother, they're still getting fed, but the food they're getting is different, right? Like it grows, it changes, it shifts, and you're going to grow in both of those areas, and you can be great at both. and a great wife and a great daughter. There are times you're going to feel like you're juggling. I don't like the word of like juggling life, but I don't know a better analogy. But I'll never forget hearing a sermon by T.D. Jakes where he just said, just don't keep dropping the same ball. So if you're juggling and the business ball falls, cool. Pick it up and don't drop it tomorrow, right? Like you're juggling and the kid ball falls, well, it's okay. Hey, you don't need this business to feel like you can't be a great mom, right? Like I heard somebody say, no one ever tells you about the envelope they give you when you give birth to your child. And I'm like, which envelope is that? Like I was like, the one that you open up and it just says mom guilt. And literally everything, but it's like we want to pin it on something, right? And it's just like, wait, that's just the enemy attacking you of everything you were created to be. So if you're a mom, I just want to give you that. You want to say something?
Well, no, I was just going to say a few practical tips. You're like, okay, how can we get practical with this? You want to finish what you were saying first?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I have practical tips too. Go.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Awesome. You're fine. Please pre-plan your week, right? You know your schedule for the most part. Pre-plan it. Create space to work smart, not nonstop. You understand that? Like if you're working nonstop, that's not healthy and it's not going to help you get where you want to go. The teams that are being ultra successful right now are ultra focused in the times that they have together. They're not working 24/7, but when it's work time, dude, they are putting in the work. And I think, for us to say, okay, it's summertime, let's work all day, it's not realistic. You don't want to do that. That's not why you got in the business in the first place. But you do have to pre-plan your week, create space to work smart, not nonstop, and then lead the season. Don't let the season lead you. You can really get thrown into the season of summer, and then before you know it, you're like, man, my business is really hurting. As opposed to, hey, I'm going to be proactive and I'm going to kick summer in the butt. Like it's game time, but you have to be proactive to do that.
Mm-hmm. I heard a statement one time that kicked me in the butt. It just said, you can do anything you feel is important enough to do. So with that, your summer season will look different. When your kids go to junior high and they're not in elementary school, that looks different. When they start in high school, things look different, right? There was a season in my life where I could work my business when my kids went to bed. And then all of a sudden I'm like, they never go to bed. Like, I just need to go to sleep. I'm dying. I'm like, wait, I thought that like the sleep deprivation was just infants, but I'm like, oh no, teenage years. Okay, got it. I'm like, I don't want to scare any of y'all. You're ready for whatever season you're supposed to be in. But I was like, okay, it's constantly shifting. But the night before, I would say plan your week, but also the night before. Hey, what are you going to do when you get up in the morning? Here's the deal. When I could get up before my kids, when they started sleeping a little bit longer, and I could get in my work tasks, then I wasn't irritated with my kids all day because I was trying to figure out when to do my work. So that rhythm and those things are going to shift. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, I could go to like coffee with these people, or I could do this, but now that's my time when my girls don't need, but you can adjust it. Don't get stuck in some ways, but make sure you're feeding your business, right? Like make sure you're feeding your kids. It might not be like a 5-course meal every night, but hey, on the nights it has to be McDonald's when you're driving through, that's okay. You still fed them. Same thing as your business. It might not be all that you needed it to be or all you expect it to be, but still feed it, right? So it doesn't starve. So looking at that, but then too, going on vacation, you know what I would do? Because I could write a post all day long and felt like I worked all day. Like, I'm like, it just took me all day to try to write a post. I wanted to be authentic. I didn't want to do 30% chat GPT. I wanted to be Stacey Alcala, right? Like that was one of my hang-ups and my weaknesses. So I'll confess that. But what I did when I went on vacation is I would actually write a post for every day, knowing what I was going to do that day. Like on our vacation, I know, my feet and my toes in the sand, and I would just be prepped. So then when I was on vacation, I wasn't spending all my day trying to figure out what I was posting. I already had it. Like, I'm so thankful for my business. I get to work, even though I wasn't necessarily having my phone sending messages with my toes in the sand. Although when my girls were kind of, there and Joy was watching them, then I sent out more messages. But I pre-planned things for where I was so I could be there. And then when I was on vacation, I wasn't trying to figure out what I was going to post the whole time, because I did that. I learned from experience. But anyways, go ahead.
No, I'd say time block is important in the summer. I would say batch content. Even if it's on a Saturday or Sunday, go take tons of pictures, wear different outfits. Well, that takes time, but yeah, it takes off so much pressure. You guys are already so good if you have the content, but it's like trying to do it all in
Mhm.
one day. Just work smarter, not nonstop, but
Yeah.
be focused when it's work time.
Yeah.
I love that. Work smarter, but not nonstop. And how you said multitasking isn't really a thing. Like, I wish that I would have been told some of these things over the years. Obviously, like I've learned to kind of relax, but I feel like we do get in that mentality where we just go nonstop. And then we're like, well, if we're not doing nonstop, but then we're like, then the mom guilt comes in, then all these different things. But the thing is like enjoy the time and be in the moment that you are, whether it's with your family or whether it's working the business, and make sure that you're feeding both. And
Yeah.
don't overthink. Like you said, when you're busy, don't overthink, but do things for your business and do things for your family. No, that was so good. I'm typing up these things, so hopefully you guys are taking notes. So that so many good nuggets there.
There's a
Um,
really there's a really good book too. I want to throw this out there by
oh
Carey
yeah.
Newhoff, and it's he talks about green, yellow, and red. Every
Mm.
day, your green areas, like when your go time, all of you know when that is. Like, man, you're at your best, you're at your sharpest. You are. The yellow is, well, you're good, but maybe not as sharp, and then your red is like, don't mess with me. Um, you need to really know that for yourself, because then you can start putting your work time and family time. And I'll find that book for you. I'll put it in the chat. But you need to put your work time and your family time in the green spots, and don't try to do things when it's red, when your energy's low, when you're. And so it's a really good book. I'll throw that in there. But that's just a free one for y'all. It was super helpful for me to kind of know my rhythms of how I am. Like, I want to do my most important stuff when I feel the freshest, um, as opposed to run down.
That's so good. Yeah, I would love to know that book too, so I can look into that as well. I know some others are sharing that in the comments also. Um, okay, so we talked about growing your business in the summertime, or even growing your business and just life and what that looks like, and a little bit about your guys' journey. Can you share some advice for pushing through times of discouragement, people leaving, rebuilding? So what we, and I know it's about your mindset and what did you say in there that was good? Like, lead your season, don't let your season lead you. But yes, just a little bit of that, because I know that at least all of the leaders on here have experienced this at one time or another. And you know what? The one up and coming leaders, it's going to happen to them as well. And so we just need, yeah, just want some encouragement and some advice for how we can best handle those things.
First of all, don't lead off emotion. And it's so easy right now with the climate of the world. Like, I'm talking to some of my friends who one owns a construction company, very successful. He's been like on an upward swing, but the last 2 years, man, things have just fallen off the wagon. He's had to let people go. I talked to another investment banker. He's like, no one wants to start new projects. We're really hurting as well. Sometimes it's easy for us to like say, well, it's this thing, but we don't realize it's actually the world. And if you lead off emotion, when someone falls off or someone doesn't, because ultimately it's their business. If they're not willing to work and believe in that, and believe in what they're doing, they're still going to have to face themselves no matter where they go, because there is no place that you're going to go and not have to work and make money. If you knew that place, let me know, because I will put my resume in. And John would be really mad at me, but he would be cool with that too, if there was a place where you didn't have to work and you could make money. But if you don't allow your emotions to drive you, you're going to be in better shape. And guess what? Your team will too. Because have you ever tried to follow a leader who's so emotional and so into like the ups and downs? It like makes you nauseous. It's like, dude, would you just pick, like, are you good today? Are you depressed today? And I'm not saying don't go through those things, but don't yeah, I heard this and it's kind of a little bit gross, but like, don't bleed on your sheep. Like, don't, the people that you're leading, they don't need to feel every emotion that you have. That's where you lead up. That's where you lead to the side. But you can either be bitter or you can be better. And I would say every opportunity that you have to be better is going to help you grow and develop, because being bitter or being hurt or being upset for a little bit, give yourself a time frame. Like, give yourself 2 hours and go cry. Go listen to sad music. Go eat some ice cream and then take some fat fighters. I mean, just go into whatever makes you feel better. But then allow yourself to process that and say, man, that hurt because I poured into them. I love them. But guess what? They're going to be better for having been with you. But then say, okay, who's the next person now that I get to pour into? And give them the same passion, the same heart, because ultimately our goal is to change lives. And whether it's for a moment or for years, if you don't allow emotion to drive you and you don't allow the ups and downs to take you away and you stay consistent, you're going to change so many lives. And really, we just want people that feel like this is where they need to be. And I feel like that's just something that can help you, that's helped us be better. And I say, okay, I can either be mad at it or it can make me better. I want to be the kind of leader that gets better every obstacle I face.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even Joey, I can get emotional. I love people so much, right? And you can take it personal, and there you've got to be able to tell yourself it's not personal, even when it is, right? But let yourself feel the emotion, but don't let the emotion drive you.
That's good.
Right? And Joey said this to me the other day. He's like, well, I don't know where you read it, but you're just talking to me. You're like, disappointment is inevitable, but discouragement is a choice. Disappointment is inevitable, but discouragement is a choice. So yes, we can be disappointed and we can feel discouraged, but if we stay in the discouragement, that doesn't serve us or the people that are right here with you, ready to go to the next place. And that's what we're called to. We're called here to change lives. And you know, their disappointment will happen, right? There's going to be the frustrated customer. There's going to be the distributor that leaves, and it grows and it changes in different ways. But choosing not to stay in discouragement, but choosing to go, I'm going to focus on the promise. I'm going to focus on what was. And even you said it, Stacey, you're like, sometimes we forget to look back. It's easy as humans. We're just like, you know, I remember when I was going ambassador, the month I went ambassador, I found it was just that scripture would come up like, with God, with man, it is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Now he's talking about people getting saved and going to heaven, and I'm all for that. But I also needed that because sometimes the goal seems so big that I don't know how it's going to happen. But I know if I just keep showing up and knocking, you know what I mean? It's almost like the little Simba who roars and you know, Mufasa roars behind him. It's like, wow, I found my roar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to keep showing up and doing it, but I know that's what it's going to take. But that God created us. He wants us to win in those. And so knowing like, hey, I'm just going to keep showing up. And I know it's only a God miracle, but I have seen him do the things in the past, and I'm going to lean on that. And I'm going to ask you, do you have, if you are an emotional person, I am. I cry. I did a lot of things crying in this business. Okay. Like I'd just be like,
she did for real.
Sending messages, but you know what I mean? But I'm like, you can do things crying. It's amazing what you can do behind your phone, you know? Like, I'm like, but I forget what I was saying.
No, that was so good.
It left me. You can do a lot of things. Don't let the emotion drive you. Don't let it decide for you. But continue to do it. Continue to show up. Continue to knock. Let the Lord do his part. Your part is to be faithful. His job is to be fruitful. And at the right time, it happens. And I know sometimes we're like, yes, but I've done it again. But I can go back and go, yep, this miracle. This is what I was going to tell you. In those emotions, have a file. I have a little album file of all my testimonies from my customers, from my distributors, when they sent me something that like, this changed my life, or this was so good, or I'm so thankful for this. Like I kept that because I needed to go back and look at that. And I could go look at that and go, okay, back in the saddle. Let's go. Horse knocked me off, but I'm ready to get back up again because I know this is the power of what's in my hand.
Yeah, and I want you to, guys, hear this. The enemy wants you to be discouraged and for you to be hurt so that you won't have impact on the people that God has in your circle now. And I think if we realize like that's the enemy's ploy, the ploy is I want to hurt Jamie because Jamie's so good at loving people that if Jamie can put a wall up and not allow anybody in her circle, then the enemy wins. But if Jamie can say, hey, that hurt and I'm going to feel it, but I have people to love around me in the circle that I have around me, don't let the enemy win. Don't let him win with unforgiveness. Don't let him win with bitterness. Don't let him win with frustration. Listen, my brother is my best friend. When people talk junk about him not knowing his heart, and I'm in jujitsu, I literally could strangle somebody. But if I hold on to those things, and I'm a pastor, but it's my brother. Like I will fight. I will go to war. I'm a nice guy, but I will but I have to let that go because I know his heart and I know what this business and what you guys mean to him. And saying that, I can be bitter and be hurt and be like, I'm gonna close off. No, no, no. I'm gonna continue to love people. I'm gonna continue to add value. I'm gonna continue to serve because that's what I'm called to do. So whether you're in our circle for a moment or for a lifetime, you are going to be better from being around us, and every one of you has that same thing inside of you. And so if there is any hurt, if there is any discouragement, if there is any fear, if someone talked junk behind your back that you poured into, let that go because God has something so much greater. And if you close off, you will not be as impactful as you can. And listen, the world needs you at your fullest because it needs the hope that you have. And I'll get off my soapbox, but I really feel like the Lord wanted me to speak that to you. Let's be the company that loves unconditionally, that forgives quick, and changes lives together.
Oh my gosh, so good. That's exactly my feelings. I remember being at a toast a couple years ago when you guys first stepped into leadership. And I remember Sherry Lynn saying, let no matter how long someone is in our company, whether it's for moments or years or months, they will be changed in some way for what God is doing in It Works. And they will not leave the same people. And if you impacted them, and yes, there's hurt, but letting go of that emotion and knowing that for that period of time you impacted and were able to pour into them, and that made and they're not going to forget that no matter what you are feeling or they are feeling right now, they're not going to forget the impact you had. But first and foremost, the way that the Lord worked. And then something else that you said, disappointment is inevitable, but discouragement is a choice. We can choose to be discouraged, or we can choose to, like you said, take that moment of time that we need to be upset because it is upsetting and it is hurtful and you do want to cry. And Stacey, I've been there so many times. Um, but at the same time, then shaking it off and choosing to go find the next person that you can help and working with the people that are still with you and running with you and not being closed off. And that's something that you shared too with me, Joey, when I was at the corporate office. As you said, it hit me really hard. It was like we pour into people, we give our heart and soul, like we develop these friendships, and then sometimes there's falling outs or sometimes people go, and it's like we could just block ourselves off from everything that God has for us in the way that he's going to use us to impact others if we are so focused on the people that we feel like we've been hurt by or the discouragement of pouring out and people leaving. And so just really focusing on the people that are with us and the people that we have yet to reach. That was a big aha for me because we do get tired and it's not always easy, but we don't want to block the blessing either and the way God's going to use us. So I love that. Okay. I have just a little bit more and then we will wrap up. And I'll just kind of combine these two. So, with all the incentives going on right now, because you guys are just incredible, corporate has been so good to us. And I really hope we can acknowledge that, especially many of us that have been here for a decade. Like, we can look and we can be like, man, we are being spoiled on so many levels by what corporate has for us, whether it's the promos, the incentives, the comp plan, all the things. And so, just if you could share a sense of urgency in the way that you should be building your business right now, bringing in new people, customer retention, and preaching it to myself as well. And just a month end push. Those are the kind of things that I just want us to really close with. And then anything else that you guys have on your heart that you want to share, because God has already used you so much on this call tonight. I'm just so grateful.
You know, I would say I look at the leaders on here, and what you're so good at is being genuine and leading with passion. And I would say now's the time to even be more vocal on your passion and what you have in your hands and what hope that you have. I think with people, especially in the summer, they're on their phones. They're looking for something. A lot of them don't want to go back to their 9 to 5, and they need extra income because things are getting more expensive. And so I would say you being genuine, you sharing your story is your superpower. And just make sure you think that you've said it enough, but you haven't said it enough. Is the moment you think, well, I've told my story too many times, you need to tell it again. And so I would say a lot of the teams that are really like on fire right now. They've went back to basics of I'm gonna hold hands with my newbies and I'm gonna allow them to get those baby step wins, and then I'm gonna celebrate them as opposed to saying I'm gonna jump right to a higher rank. They're saying no, no, no. I want to give them hope, build that relationship, and really be just laser focused on our newbies coming in. And it's amazing because it's kind of counter to what even we thought or how we, the times have changed moving forward. But I would say that's really important.
Yeah. One, you have something powerful in your hand. So there's two thoughts I really want to go with. One, Joey loves this quote that is, hope is the belief that tomorrow can be better than today. And I have the power to do that. So sometimes what we want to compare is to like 2 years ago, but we're looking at hope is that I know tomorrow can be better than today. I feel like that applies. What can we do tomorrow that makes things better than today? Who can we enroll tonight that makes our check going to be? I mean, we might need some extra money. I'm not sitting here going, not every person on this Zoom's going, wow, I just made so much money. Everything's great. That's not where we are. Be where you are. One, so that tomorrow can be better than today. Don't be somewhere else that you're hoping, this is where I need to be successful. So one, where is that at? Where are you at right now? And how can tomorrow be better? Okay. So we're looking at, hey, we might have got knocked down. We might have got hit a little bit. We might be, look, at 29 years old, I had a heart attack. Almost took me out, right? I had to go to rehab. I was a dancer. I was active. I was healthy. Do you know, to graduate rehab, all I had to do was be on an elliptical for 3 minutes. And it took me 6 weeks to go through that rehab. And that did not feel good. That was humbling. But if I didn't start where I was, I would never be where I am now. And so I'm asking you to evaluate where you are now so that tomorrow can be better than today. Be here and go, okay, what do I need tomorrow? Wait, we need another $100? Let's get a PM bonus before the month's out, right? Some of you still have spring cash bonuses you can close out before the month's out. Every action you take from here on out changes your check next 15th of July. You are in a spot that you can give yourself a raise from where you are right now by the action you take through the end of this month. Do it. Any raise is better, right? Any little amount's better. Let's go for it. Let's set some goals to end June strong. Because when you feel like you're winning, you are going to attract people. So give yourself some things to win about. Give yourself some places to do it. And one place you could start is get on Road to VIP and go listen to Rachel Hatton's story that she spoke today. She's been in a year. Do you know that she's lost 96 pounds, was almost having to take disability because she couldn't move her body? Guess what? 96 pounds didn't come off all at one time, but she did a 30-day drop. And then she's like, well, I had to tweak a little and I had to show up a little bit. I hit a plateau. I did this. Who's Rachel Hatton in your life? Who's somebody that's desperately looking for something to change to feel better because they're about to be on disability because they can't show up and even do their job anymore because their body's so unhealthy? And we have products that help with that. Are you kidding me? I don't know. She's like, I did the 30-day drop. And then when it came out, I added in skinny brew and flat. And then I was doing TFX and burn. And she's like, and it okay, 40 more pounds came off after that. Like, I'm like, wait, this works. We got to go be resilient and turn things around. But I'm like, I don't know who in your circle needs this product tomorrow. But there's somebody. I don't know who in your circle that needs an extra $100 and they're praying to God that they don't have to go to pick up a third job away from their home because they need to be home with their kids in some way, and you have it in your hand. There is power and there is hope that we have to offer people. That's a practical way. And don't listen to the enemy saying, oh, you don't know how to lead somebody. Oh, you don't know how to. This is it. There's urgency because people are searching right now. Mm-hmm. They are desperate for things. And we're sitting here going, but it's not maybe what I expected it to be. I know. But you have it in your hand. And I don't know who this next person is. I know when I lost a whole line in Houston that I thought was going to be my next diamond leg to go ambassador, that I just needed so desperate, and they all quit, and Hurricane Harvey came in, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess the girl Natalie that I just signed, she's going to be out too. She's from Houston. Guess what? She went diamond on her own in 3 months after that. I don't know who your next diamond is. Stacey Alcala joined July 6th, went diamond in October. Sherry Lynn Alcala joined like June 25th, so June 28th, I don't know, went diamond in September. That's what we're talking about. There's still lives to change.
It's so good. You guys just truly, truly impactful in the fact that you guys joined around this same time of the year and how you just hit some huge milestones really fast. And we can get into making excuses because it's summertime and there's no excuse because it can be done. It has been done. I also joined in the summertime and went diamond in 90 days. I mean, it is completely possible. And so with that, I would love to leave the group with some personal development that you guys recommend, including if you can remember the name of the book that you had mentioned, Joey.
Yep.
Because I feel like we have to keep, and I'm preaching this to myself as well, keep doing self-development, keep being in God's word every day. Like these are the things we need to do to really make sure that our mindset is where it needs to be to push through no matter what we go through in our businesses on a daily basis. And so, yeah, what are some, maybe like a few books, sorry, I'm asking off the top of your head, off the top of my head too, that you'd recommend?
I'll give you three that are really impactful. And a lot of you, if you haven't read, I'm sure you have read, you need to reread Miracle Morning. That's an amazing book. I stole Stacey's because I know she was going to say that. But it's a game changer, especially for the summer. Miracle Morning, it's amazing. I would say Emotional Intelligence 2.0 is unbelievable about not letting emotions drive you, but understanding your emotions. And then lastly, the book I was talking about is At Your Best by Carrie Newhoff. And it is, and I put it up in the chat too, but it just talks about guarding your energy. And I want you guys know this too. Your team doesn't need perfection. They need your presence. They need your yes, and they need your belief. And I think for all of you, whatever you need to let go of to be at your best, do it. just do it because your team needs you to do that. And I would say those three books are amazing. Make sure that you get time with the Lord. I mean, without journaling and praying and reading His Word, we're all, man, we're all in trouble. I don't know where y'all's faith is. I just know that, man, He created us. And so connecting with the Creator gives us the identity where we don't then feel like if I don't hit this certain thing, then I'm not enough because you are already enough. And if you can work from that place, it's a lot healthier than saying, well, if I don't hit this rank, then I'm less than. And so I think connecting self-development wise with the creator always gives you kind of that groundedness of it doesn't matter if you're high or low, he's with you, he's the goal, his presence is the goal, everything else is a cherry on top. That's a great place to work from.
Yeah. My three books, I'm going to go spiritual on you. Jesus Calling. If you haven't read that, I just read that all the time. I just always go back to it. Cindy told me to read this book when I was in the field. It's a 30-day devotional.
They can't read.
Oh, sorry. The Prayer of the Dreamer and Doer. And so it's like all about balance and becoming everything the Lord wants you to do. It's really cool. And then lastly, one, I will tell you, because we've talked a lot about it tonight. Rejection will come in this business. And I really need a lot of work in that in my life because I wanted to avoid rejection as much as possible. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Where I have to invite people to tell me no, pretty much. But the book Uninvited changed my life. That I just like Joy said, I had to work from a different place and become something different. And those are my books. Of course, Miracle Morning changed my business. So I'm just going to throw that out.
Oh, I love it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking time to pour into us tonight. We appreciate you. I really feel like that's exactly what so many of us needed to hear. And we're just so grateful for your guys' hearts. If everyone would just stay for a minute, and I don't do the boomerang thing the best up here. I still feel like I'm totally old school, but if everyone can just wave and say hi and bye. It was so good. So good to have you guys on. Thank you so much again. Thank you, teams, for showing up. We appreciate you. We love you. We're going to have huge things. Oh, wait. You're coming to Minnesota.
But wait, can we talk about who's going to be in Minnesota? Because I feel like most of your faces, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and I was just telling you, coming out to Louisiana, changing life, it was unbelievable. And then I started seeing the leaders and the team that is going to be in Minnesota. I'm like, dude, I cannot wait because the content's powerful, but the more important to be able to hug your necks, to man, just be together, dream together. If you have to drive, we had people driving 8 and 9 hours to get to Louisiana
14.
and 14, and they were like, man, it was so worth it. Do whatever you need to do, bunk up with somebody. I mean, we've had 4 to 6 people in the room. Don't tell the hotel, and just do what you needed to do. But man,
Hey, we have some Canada coming to Minnesota. I'm excited.
We do. We have so many of the leaders on here will be there, and I know our teams too. And if you have been debating, yeah, reach out. Many of us are local here. Like, we'll try and help in any way that we can, as far as most of us leaders that are going to be here and a part of that. So yeah, you guys, we're pumped. We know you're going to be there. Lots of the other corporate teams going to be there. We've got a yacht cruise going on. We got some fun things. So we are really excited and can't wait to see what's in store for It Works and for each one of our teams and our family here this summer and the rest of this year. Sorry, my kid's distracting me.
oh,
Anyways, you guys, love you. Thank you so much again. We'll see you guys soon.
yeah.
Bye-bye.